Sisters and brothers, we have only one shepherd, Jesus. How do we look at him? Through baptism, we have been one with him, so all of us are members of his body. One shepherd, in him we are all one. Now look at what he does today. Two things we will reflect on, the Old Testament and the New. The New Testament we see yesterday, he sent them out with authority. And they did all things. And it is said, the Lord working through them. The Lord was working through them. He sent them, but he was working through them. And that is why there were great miracles that took place. Today we see them returning, saying, wow, a lot of things were happening, Lord. And he knew. And so what does he tell them? Come and rest for a while. Rest with whom? Rest with him. This is something that I've been convinced of, and I've been always telling you to do that. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening. And what do you do there? You surrender everything to him so that he increases in you. And through the night, he is unformatting those formats which are not of his in us, so that he takes away this stuff, and by morning he has worked with us 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. We are a new creation in Jesus in the morning. We wake up and once again we spend time with him. 5 minutes. What are we doing? Surrendering ourselves to him so that he can be all in us, so that the shepherd works through us, not we. If we work, we will get exhausted and tired. We will not know what to do. And that's why when God asked Solomon, what do you want? He says, you have given me everything. All I need is a discerning heart. I need to know what is your will so that I do what you want to do. And God says, you've asked something very good. I will give you a wise meaning with wisdom and discerning heart to know what is his will and to do it. Besides, you'll get everything else. You don't have to worry. The promises are there. For all of us, this is a promise. But do you believe in this? Or are you like those of his own people who were unbelieving, which we saw during these days? Let us not be unbelieving, but believing persons. Believing that Jesus is in us and that we have to remain united to him so that he can work through our thoughts, words and deeds. And only then will we bear fruit that will last. For apart from me, you can do nothing. He has told us all these things. We know it. But why are we so lethargic? Why are we not enthusiastic? Can't we make every breath the only breath of our life in which we are united to him, so that the next breath gives us even more? And then we will keep on growing more and more deeper, so that there is great joy and peace in our life. Amidst whatever may happen, we do not have to worry about that. Just keep uniting it to the Lord. Whatever is evoked in you by this evil or good, in the Lord, so that you are at peace. You are internally free. That's what we want. That's why he has created us, to live heaven on earth. We are praying every day. As it is in heaven, so be it on earth. And why are we not believing it? Why are we so lethargic? Let us take courage and heart. The Lord is giving us everything, but we need to have a humble heart, a begging heart, and he will surely give it to us. If there is pride in us, if there is, becoming big, great by ourselves, then forget it. You're going to be miserable. And you have had such experiences. So my dear sisters and brothers, like Blaise, who was a doctor, he gave up everything to follow the Lord. And he remained very quiet and silent during the persecution. He was in the cave. And they said that birds came to give him the food that he needed. And when the king's hunters came, the wild animals protected him. So God does everything. And then he was made bishop, and there was a persecution, and he died in that persecution. But also, we have heard how many miracles were worked through him, including the boy who had the bone in his throat, and it can be terrible. There are people who have died of asphyxiation. That means they can't breathe. But he was saved, and that's why through him many miracles were worked out. What about us? God is also working many miracles through us in our own homes when we reach out to each other. Let us do that. Let's hold our hands now and be present to Jesus so that we replicate this in our oneness with him before we sleep and when we wake up. At every breath in, experience being filled with Jesus. From our toes right up to our head, in our body, mind and spirit. So everything in us is floating in Jesus. And in his name, empty everything. Keep repeating his name as you empty from head to toe everything that is there within us, good, bad, ugly. And as we do this, the next breath, his goodness is much more occupied in us because everything else is emptied. And in that freedom, we will live more united to Jesus, rooted in him, so that the fruits we bear are born through his communion with us and our communion with him. Lord, thank you for everything, and we surrender ourselves fully to you as this bread and wine, so that as they are transformed, we too may be transformed into your presence. Amen.